Hey friends, we're going to try our best here with essay number 136. So this beautiful book here is called American Miscellany. It was published in 1865, and Robert Sears, the publisher, did a wonderful job of compiling this collection of hundreds of essays made by different individuals. And there are, of course, dozens of these lovely engravings that accompany the essays. So our last essay was essay number 135. And what was it about? It was about, let's see, the bounties of Providence. So our next essay, in completely random order, why not, is about Massachusetts Statehouse. That's a tricky one. But actually what's really tricky about this, unfortunately, the engraving that is accompanying the essay about the Massachusetts Statehouse is actually entitled Statehouse, Wisconsin. So I do hope you enjoy the engraving, but just know they may have mixed up the engravings. Who knows? Maybe there's an essay on the Statehouse in Wisconsin, and we'll get the corresponding engraving for the Massachusetts Statehouse. But I'm just letting you guys know what's happening here. It is a beautiful engraving, isn't it? It really is. Got some people wandering about. All right. Well, let's check it out first. Exactly what we have. Alrighty. Here we are on page 330. And our subject, of course, for today, for essay number 136, is Massachusetts Statehouse. All right. Massachusetts Statehouse, this elegant and spacious edifice situated in Boston on elevated ground adjoining the Common and near the center of this ancient and flourishing city, was erected in 1795. The cornerstone was laid on the 4th of July by the venerable and patriotic Samuel Adams, then Chief Magistrate of Massachusetts, assisted by Paul Revere, Master of the Grand Lodge of Masons. He succeeded Governor Hancock, who died in October 1793. The lot was purchased by the town of Boston by the heirs of Governor Hancock at $4,000. The building was not finished and occupied by the legislature till January 1798, when the members of the General Court walked in procession from the old State House at the head of State Street, and the new edifice. That's a new word for me. Edifice, and the new edifice was dedicated by solemn prayer to Almighty God. The old State House, so called from the time of building the other, was long the place in which the General Court of the province of Massachusetts Bay was held. It has lately been well repaired, and is the place of the meetings of the city authorities and for public offices. The cornerstone of the present State House was brought to the spot by 15 white horses, at that time the number of states in the Union. The building is seen at a great distance in all directions, and is the principal object visible when the city is first seen by those who visit it. The form is oblong, being 173 in front and 61 feet deep. The height of the building, including the dome, is 110 feet, and the foundation is about that height above the level of the water of the bay. It consists externally of a basement story 20 feet high and a principal story 30 feet high. This, in the center of the front, is covered with an attic 60 feet wide and 20 feet high, which is covered with a pediment. Immediately above rises the dome, 50 feet in diameter and 30 in height, the whole terminating with an elegant circular lantern, which supports a pine cone. pine cone, little symbolism for enlightenment there. Interesting. I guess this was the Age of Enlightenment. The basement story is finished in a plain style on the wings with square windows. The center is 94 feet in length and formed of arches which project 14 feet and make a covered walk below and support a colonnade of Corinthian columns of the same extent above. The largest room is in the center and in the second story and is occupied as the representative's chamber. It will accommodate 500 members. The Senate chamber is also in the second story and at the east end of the building, being 60 feet by 50. On the west end is a large room for the meetings of the governor and the executive council with a convenient antechamber. The view from the top of the Statehouse is very extensive and variegated. Perhaps nothing in the country is superior to it. To the east appears the bay and harbor of Boston, interspersed with beautiful islands, and in the distance beyond, the wide extended ocean. To the north, the eye is met by Charlestown, with its interesting and memorable heights, and the Navy Yard of the United States, the towns of Chelsea, Malden, and Medford, and other villages, and the natural forests mingling in the distant horizon. To the west is a fine view of the Charles River and Bay, the ancient town of Cambridge, rendered venerable for the university, now 2 centuries old, of the flourishing villages of Cambridge Port and East Cambridge, in the latter of which is a large glass manufacturing establishment, of the highly cultivated towns of Brighton, Brookline, and Newton. And to the south is Roxbury, which seems to be only a continuation of Boston, Dorchester, a fine, rich agricultural town, with Milton and Quincy beyond, and still further south the Blue Hills, at the distance of 8 or 10 miles, which seem to bound the prospect.